Going on, wonderful people? Another beautiful day to bill search. Let's go through some pocket money and see if we can find some stuff that is collectible, worth more than face value, or at least, cool to look at. So we'll start right off with a 2013 Series $5 note. At first glance, I thought we had a birthday or date note, but this 54 is definitely not a day within the month of February. Little bit of stray ink that's kind of around here. You can see that dotting that runs throughout the serial number as well as on that crest, the seal, the Great Seal with the eagle there in the background. But unfortunately, nothing in the serial number, nothing jumping out on the front of the note. Back of the note really folded up and beat up, so good old $5 bill. 2013 $1 note. A little bit of repetition of zeros and stuff in there. People ask me about that a lot in the comments as well as through email. Hey, is this collectible with these 2 or 3 zeros? My personal tip would be, unless the repetition is really just 2 numbers, maybe 3, and they're clumped together, something that has this minimal amount of repetition to a digit or this big mix of digits here is your pretty standard serial number and wouldn't be worth more than the dollar face value in this case. Other than that, really beat up. You can see some lack of ink there on the Portrait of Washington just from circulation. Back of the note. Also really folded up from I mean, all these are circulated bills, so, don't expect any of them to be really mint. They could be near mint, of course. But all of them are going to show damage. Series 2013 $1 bill also, almost like a one-eyed Washington there with the amount of damage to his portrait. And nothing in the serial number, no shifts or anything, so the bill's printed really appropriately. So we'll kind of skim on past this one. And nothing jumping out on the back to me. Flop this around. Now on the weathering on this note, you can see how the seals and serial numbers are much brighter than the remainder of the note. That's due to the 3-phase printing process that U.S. currency goes through, Federal Reserve notes, when they're produced. The seals and serial numbers are printed during the second phase of printing, and it's intaglio, so they're actually printed within the bill as opposed to on the surface of the note. So generally damage to that portion of the bill is minimal compared to the remainder of it. So, and a little binary backplate number, that's cool. Oh, throwing stuff around here. Closer to that date note, oddly enough, it's also a February number, but 0218, February 18th, and unfortunately we have not reached the year 6571 in modern day. But good thing to look out for is date notes, birthday notes. People love to collect those. Things with historical dates on them, 1776, you know the deal. Especially historical dates that actually involve the United States of America and don't take place previous to its conception. And nothing on the back. Oh, and just to point out, this little, thumbprint looking thing, that's just a wet ink transfer and really common from one bill to another, especially $1 notes. Got a literal one-eyed Washington with the way the fold was done on this bill. So he's kind of like blind in one eye. Good repetition of 1s and 7s in here, but once again, not enough for me to jump for joy about or call it a collectible bill. Back of the note really beat up. Colors really doled out on this just from general circulation. This is a 2013 note, but as you may or may not know, $1 notes have the shortest lifespan for currency, so actually that one's kind of hitting the end of its circulatory life. 2006, this one's past its time period, so you can see from the amount of damage, if you could feel it, we were like in the Jetsons, and you could reach in, or you had smell-o-vision, like Futurama, you could smell it. Somebody smoked cigarettes heavily around this thing, so it's seen its day. Only difference between this dollar bill and newer ones, or even older ones, all the way back to the 50s, is just the signatures. In 57, they added in God We Trust to the bills, but aside from that, $1 notes have not undergone a change in graphics or layout or anything like that, like other denominations of US currency, in well over 50 years. Really well printed, little bit of damage here, Series 2017, so it is a newer $1 note. There's quite a bit of order from the BEP for notes for 2021 due to the shortage, so to speak, of printing availability and coinage throughout 2020 due to the pandemic. So we'll see how our bill searches are affected by that and what we come across throughout the next year, which I'm really excited about. Nothing on the back of this $1 note. Little bit of extra inking here, but 2017 and 2013 series seem to have a lot of that. So that little bit of excess ink on the 9 here, same down here, really common. I wouldn't call that collectible. But hey, if you collect it, hold on to it. Nothing there. Here we go. Nice little repetition going on. A lot better condition note, too, despite this little corner fold. Let me stop messing with the note so much so you can see it. Nice repetition of 1s, 2s, and 3s. Almost a radar note, so it's almost able to be read forward and back. It would have been nice if it was, say, 133222331. Then it would have been a nice radar fancy serial number. But this is a really good trinary note. I also like that it's kind of in a broken ladder format, although it's just 1s, 2s, and 3s. Another interesting thing is a little bit of the raise on the last 3 digits here is kind of cool. I'm going to hold on to it for now. I don't see anything else really jumping way out at me, but I love me a good trinary note, and especially I like the repetition here and the condition of the note. Back of the note, nice and crisp overall. I mean, not bad condition. Little bit of a peek through of that serial number from the front. But nothing really too crazy. Another thing to look out for on $10 banknotes is where these trees are printed on either side. Generally, you'll get either transfer of the ink over, or it'll be a hefty wet ink transfer from the note sitting below this one. So something to keep an eye out for. Next note, 2017 $1 bill. Nothing in the serial number. Overall decent condition, a little bit of like a little smudge in the ink here. But unless it obscures part of this portrait or other portions of the note, I wouldn't say it's anything to get, overly joyful about. Also, where this fold was at one point, it sits right there, so I don't know if it's damaged from just, repetitive use. And nothing on the back. Really beat up $10 note, so a little bit older, 2006 versus that 2017 note with the repetition on it. But nothing in the serial number. Once again, between those two notes, just the signatures here are going to be different. But both notes went through a redesign of their graphics in the early 2000s. I believe starting with the 2006 $10 notes, but correct me if I'm wrong. $5 note, 2013. Nothing jumping out on the front. I do like the design of the $5 notes, though. Little bit of extra ink here, but most likely damage. Same deal up here. So nothing there. Another 5. I got a bunch of 5s. That's cool. Similar serial number as that previous one. A little bit off, but nothing crazy going on is really what I'm getting at. There's a couple repetitious numbers like 2s and 5s, but once again, unless it's like a binary repetitious number with just 2 digits, or even like a trinary I just held on to, I would not say it's collectible nor retains a value over face value. Then the last 2 bills we'll look at. Oh, that's interesting. So this one's actually looks like the next number in the line to that $10 note that I held on to. So we can look back at that. People ask me about that a lot, too. Oh, I got 57 $1 notes that are all in the same order. Well, unless they're all fancy serial numbers, anybody can go to a bank and get a strap and have a bunch of notes in the same order. But like in this case, you got essentially 2 trinary notes. Now, those are more collectible than valuable, but nevertheless, I would say something more to hold on to from a collectible standpoint than, say, just a large run of sequential serial numbers. Anyhow, they're both cool. I'm going to hold on to them for now, although, like I said, there's obviously a ton of them, including the one that's next after this one, which would have the 3s on the end. But pretty cool. I'll hold on to them as kind of neat little trinaries. Last but not least, little bit of repetition of a few digits once again, but overall, good condition note. Nothing in the serial number as far as fancy serial number, but really, good old $5 bill and it'll buy me a cup of coffee. Nothing on the back, so nothing too crazy there. We'll pass on that one. We held on to a couple really nice little trinary notes here that are in order. Both are near mint, but have a little bit of character to them. But let me know what you think about this bill search, and of course, let me know what you've come across in your coin and bill searches lately in the comments below. I will see you there, and I will see you in the next video.